All right, let's talk about big data. You hear about it all the time, right? This promise that it's going to totally revolutionize, well, everything. That it's going to help us all make smarter, data-driven decisions. But is that what's actually happening? Let's dive in.
And this is really the central question, isn't it? I mean, we are swimming in an ocean of information. We have more data points at our fingertips right now than at any other time in human history. So logically, you'd think our decisions would be getting sharper, more insightful, more successful. But is that really the case?
So first, let's unpack the allure of big data. What is it that makes it so captivating? At its core, the answer is actually pretty simple. Data models are just incredibly compelling. Think about it. We live in this world that's filled with uncertainty and complexity, and then a clean data model comes along and offers a sense of order, of objectivity, maybe even certainty. It feels like a clear path right through the fog. And that appeal, it really comes from one primary function, their extraordinary power of prediction. This is where these models truly shine. And this isn't just hype, let's be clear. When they're built and used the right way, these data models can forecast results with almost uncanny accuracy. They can spot trends and connections that are completely invisible to the naked human eye. Just think about that power for a second. The ability to be right 95% of the time, or maybe even more. That's the promise that makes organizations invest billions and billions into data analytics. It's the engine driving this entire revolution. It's powerful, it's reliable, and yeah, it really feels like the future. But here's the twist. Despite all this incredible predictive power, we often get it wrong. We have fundamentally misapplied these brilliant tools, and this is exactly where the promise collides with reality. So let's talk about that collision. This is what we'll call the misapplication trap. And what's absolutely crucial to understand is this. The problem isn't the data, and it isn't the model. The problem is how we, the humans, are using them.
So what does misapplication actually mean? Well, it's when we treat a model's output like it's the absolute truth, and we ignore everything else. Think of it like a GPS. It can give you the most efficient route based on all the traffic data, for sure, but it doesn't know there's a parade blocking the street right now. If you just follow it blindly and drive right off a pier, that's not the GPS's fault. That's model misapplication. And this gets to the core issue. A model's strength is finding the what, all those hidden patterns, but its blind spot is the why. It has absolutely no real-world context, no understanding of nuance or the messy reality of human behavior. It's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but it is not an all-seeing oracle. So knowing the trap is there is the first step. The next and most important is learning how to avoid it. The goal isn't to just abandon data, not at all. It's to achieve a smarter integration of data into our decision-making process. And here's a pretty simple framework to do that. First, understand the tool. You have to know what the model measures, and just as important, what it doesn't. Second, always add human context. What does your experience, your intuition, your common sense tell you about this? And third, actively question the output. Ask why. Why is the model saying this? And what if it's wrong? This whole process leads to a powerful guiding principle that should really govern our relationship with big data. It's all about a shift in our mindset, from being dictated by the data to simply being informed by it. Ultimately, it all comes down to this one idea. Data provides the map. It can show you the terrain, it can show you the obstacles, and it can show you all the potential routes. But you, the human, you still have to steer the ship. You have to navigate the unexpected, and you have to be the one to choose the final destination. And that brings us to the end. The real challenge here isn't just about gathering more data, it's about building the wisdom to use it correctly. So the question I want to leave you with is this. As you face your next big choice, how will you use the map without letting go of the wheel?